Cause you know you ain't got nothing.
Girl.
You know you ain't got
Your
nothing.
weak ass gonna get treated like a girl.
Who gonna treat me like a girl, huh?
Who you think?
Who gonna treat me like a girl? You?
Who you think?
You?
Who you think?
You gonna treat me like a girl?
Watch.
Quinton Rampage Jackson, the howling wolf of MMA. A light heavyweight destroyer with knockout power that could end careers in seconds. A former UFC champion, a Pride legend, and a man whose slams still give fighters chills decades later. But what do UFC icons, the very best in the world, really say about facing this beast? This is UFC Legends. Explain how terrifying Quinton Rampage Jackson was.
You a coward ass
You a bitch. You a bitch.
You a coward ass bitch.
Right,
You in my face calling.
Rashad. Back up, dude. Back up, dude.
Dude, I know you just didn't do that.
Yes, I did.
I know you just didn't do
Yes,
that.
I did.
Dude.
You know I did.
You came on my face.
So what?
His story is one of a street fighter who became a Pride sensation, a man whose raw, unrefined power terrorized Japan and then the world. Fighters didn't just respect Rampage, they feared the unpredictable explosion of violence he brought. He was a force of nature.
Don't be sneezing in my interview next time. You wait. I smell gas over here. We're gonna blow our ass up over here. I can smell gas. Anyway, like I was saying, I forgot what I was saying because I smell gas and we got people sneezing.
Well, let me ask you a quick question.
No, I'm gonna remember right now. Hell wrong with you? Ariel?
This was a sentiment echoed by fellow Pride legend Wanderlei Silva, who felt Rampage's power firsthand in their epic trilogy. Reflecting on their third fight, Silva admitted, and while Rampage wasn't all terror, he'd howl like a wolf on his entrances, cracking jokes mid-rivalry when the cage door closed. It was pure nightmare.
For some reason, he intimidated me. He really did.
I kept having these nightmares that I would get knocked out. And no matter how the fight played out, I would always get knocked out. And it was always within the first 30 seconds of the fight.
That fear, that deep-seated intimidation felt by a future GOAT, was forged in the crucible of Japanese rings. In Pride FC, Rampage didn't just fight, he weaponized raw, unadulterated strength. He turned elite mixed martial artists into rag dolls, lifting them like toys and dropping them with earthquake force. And one slam, one single act of violence changed the entire sport's understanding of what was possible.
It was right after I did that Arona slam.
I mean, it's the greatest KO slam of all time. The greatest slam in the history of the sport. You were powerful as fuck back then.
Yeah.
And all the speed and force you're generating, oh my God.
Opponents knew the rule. If Rampage picked you up, the fight was over. That raw wrestling power, channeled through pure explosive anger, generated a speed and force that seemed almost inhuman. It wasn't a technique, it was an execution.
And I just picked him up and slammed him. I tried to slam him through the ring. I tried to break the ring.
The legacy of that terror echoes to this day. Rampage later joked that after that slam, even the Yakuza bosses in the audience wanted his autograph. His popularity exploded, but for his opponents, they were the ones seeing him in their dreams.
Hey, y'all watching the verses and Rampage pissed. Y'all ain't never seen Rampage pissed like this for real. I'm gonna get my belt back and I'm gonna keep it. And anybody stepping in that cage with me, they gonna get smashed for real. Y'all heard it on verses. These nuts in your mouth.
When Rampage brought his brand of terror to the UFC, the fear evolved. He wasn't just a supernaturally strong wrestler anymore. He was a refined spirit breaker. Champions hesitated. Strikers second-guessed their exchanges. The psychological warfare was just as potent as the physical.
Took though, and he used it to knock out Kevin Randleman. Good left hook to the bottom. Curiously enough, he's still not checking leg kicks. Rampage with a quick jab. Good left hand. Silva is out. It is all. Wow.
Even future GOATs were having nightmares before they even signed the contract. He dethroned the ice-cold, seemingly unstoppable Chuck Liddell, not with a lucky punch, but with a calculated demolition of a myth.
Because you have a big scary fella and a goofy dude. Your shot's way more
impactful than my shots.
Even a tough, gritty champion like Forrest Griffin, who gave him one of his toughest fights, openly admits the sheer unsettling disparity in power. Rampage's shots weren't just punches, they were impact events.
He didn't quit like I thought he was going to quit, you know. I thought he was going to be looking for a way out, but he didn't. I mean, positions that I had, and I was like, I know he's going to quit. He didn't quit, and I was definitely impressed with that. So, you know, he's definitely a fighter. You know, he's a legend in the sport.
You know, even though I knew I was a better martial artist, I just had, you know, it was almost like a big brother complex in there somewhere in a weird way. So I used to always see, you know, I used to have bad dreams of things not going my way against Rampage.
This aura of intimidation wasn't confined to the cage. It was a 24/7 presence. He could be a hilarious, charismatic personality, but that only made the pivot back to menace even more jarring.
What people don't know about fighters, we alphas. We the alpha male. And guys like this, they don't like alpha males. That's why they try to pick on us, because they more intelligent and stuff than us. But that's all they got. I'm alpha. You know what I'm saying? We alphas, we do what we want to do. We mess around the hotel. We get out the car and fight at a red light we want to. We alpha, we do what we want to do.
Pure entertainment. Until you remember what those alpha male hands did to someone as elusive as Lyoto Machida. The charm was a flickering veil over a constant simmering threat. And the fear wasn't just in the fighters' heads. It was echoed by the voices who called the action, the analysts who studied every facet of the game. They saw it, they felt it from ringside, and they confirmed the legend.
Rampage, did you think this fight was going to go as easy as it went?
No, I didn't go that easy.
Now, when you hit him with that shot, did you think that shot was hard enough to put him down?
I didn't think so, because Chuck really tough, and I didn't know. Yeah! Let me take this from you.
From the pride rings of Japan to the UFC octagon, Quinton Rampage Jackson rewrote the very definition of fear in mixed martial arts. It was a potent three-part cocktail: the soul-crushing power of his slams, the one-punch knockout power in his hooks, and the overwhelming alpha male presence that got inside opponents' heads before they even stepped under the lights.
But he's smart, but look at he's scrawny. Look at his neck. Look how scrawny that neck. Look at that little bit. I could choke this. Look at his neck. I'm alpha. Look at my neck. Look at his neck. Scrawny. I'm alpha. And betas hate on alphas. Trust me. All the time. We get more ladies. How many ladies you got?
Just one.
Shut up. He's lying right now.
The legends still talk about it. Jon Jones had literal nightmares. Joe Rogan calls it the hardest hit ever. Forrest Griffin admits his shots were simply on another level. Chuck Liddell calls him one of the scariest to ever do it. The wolf howled and an entire division trembled. So, what scared you the most about Prime Rampage? Was it the legendary slams, the concussive power in his hands, or that undeniable, intimidating presence? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this look into MMA terror, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more legends. Thanks for watching.